Hello everyone and welcome to Best Side Cycling. Today I'm here and I'm about to go on a gravel ride with my MV Mog, and I'm in South Bellevue right now, and this is the very lesser known Waterline Trail, but this is going to be a gravel-ish type of ride. But we're going to head over to Issaquah, take on some climbs, and then end up on the Issaquah Preston Trail. So let's go ride, and we'll have a lot of talk on the way. So let's get going here. And yeah, this is the Waterline Trail. It's actually really nice because it's super close to where I live, so I actually have like gravel basically in my backyard. And I think the nice thing about this route is that it's a little tiny bit of a progression from the things like the cross-Kirkland corridor, where it's just a little bit more bumpy. It's nothing hard, it's still really hard packed and everything, but at least there is some bigger rocks and little things to avoid. And it's been a really good practice for me. So we're gonna ride this down towards May Creek and then get onto May Valley Road, sort of one of the favorite Eastside roads just all around for road riding, and then end up on some new gravel rides areas I haven't gone that connect up towards the Issaquah Preston Trail before I come back west. So this should be fun. It's currently late November and sunsets at 4:30 p.m. so it's probably gonna get dark by the time I get home, but I think on the way there and what I plan to show you guys, it should be all good here. So typical of a lot of these gravel crossings is going by these sort of residential arterials, so definitely look out for cars. But yeah, it's sort of nice and I've actually enjoyed gravel a lot more than I expected, mainly due to the fact that I get to explore a lot of new routes that I haven't done before. Because I guess just over these years, I've just gotten so used to everything, but then now it's sort of like all new again. So that's sort of definitely been my favorite part as we enter this next section here. And yeah, and I'm definitely no off-road aficionado for sure. I'm very bad, so where I like to be right now is sort of this gravel double track and find things that I can climb and just see new things is sort of where I'm at right now. But this bike has been perfect for that, just because it gives me the option to do rides like this, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, this part's neat. And up here there's a gate that's really narrow. We'll see. I've never been able to do a perfect slot in. I'll try this time. Let's see. Nah, I'm not risking it. Going really slow. Oh, barely made it. Caught the shoulder a bit. But yeah, there's the things like that in this ride. You gotta do a lot. And here we're getting close towards Lake Bourne. There's this interesting cut through you need to make, or gravel detour, or sorry, paved detour, but it's not long. But yeah. It's been nice. I've been definitely really busy the past season, so some of you might have noticed that maybe there isn't as many videos, but yeah, it definitely comes and goes. I have full intention to keep going with everything. It's just doing it sort of on the side with a full-time job and things. It doesn't always come on top, but yeah, there's so many videos I still need to make. So that's why I'm really appreciative if I can finally get out on a slightly longer ride that I think is interesting, especially this route, and then just go ahead in one go. I just give you a taste of what it's like riding around here. So that's the aim of today. And yeah, but we're now here in Newcastle. It's a very weird border-wise in this area of King County, because it's Renton, Bellevue, and Newcastle all together, and they sort of share sort of amenities, and then school district boundaries sort of cross and stuff like that. So, but we're back around to the trail, and then another sort of narrow-ish gate. That one's not nearly as bad as the one before, and we keep going. On your left. But yeah, you can see now what I mean by the progression, because I think as a beginner, like, if your impression of East Rail is gravel, then like a lot of the other rides just get a lot harder, just because they get a lot more steeper and it's a lot chunkier. But this one just adds a tiny little bit more reasonable level of chunk, but not much more difficult otherwise. So it's nice. And I've gotten a chance to ride sort of all over. I think going up to Puget Point was definitely one of my favorites, but there was some rides in Vancouver too that I've been able to do with this bike I wouldn't do otherwise, so that's been really cool. But here to the next section. Hello. And then today is finally sort of dry after sort of all the moisture that we've been having. It's been nice to finally have some semblance of a dry day. So, all right, and we continue here. And this one's interesting too. We go down through into this thing. All right, made it. And then these wide drops are super helpful for me. Just that much more width to get in control of things, but yeah, it still definitely makes me nervous a lot going downhill on off-road. But I think that's something you just have to keep practicing. Just like how I used to be really scared of descending pavement as well. So it's just a matter of time, but definitely conditions is a big part of it. But here, yeah, it's just you and the road, not so much cars. At least hope not. All right, here. Okay. And this pretty much brings us to where we're gonna divvy off back onto the road for now. You can keep going straight, and it does sort of go to the same spot, but it turns to a cycle track. But what's interesting here is that this crossing is new. So this is one example of Newcastle bike infrastructure showing off on the channel. But yeah, now this is probably a much more familiar scene to a lot of people. This is May Creek Drive, and then heading towards Coal Creek so we can connect onto May Valley Road. So we're transitioning now into a much faster road pace, and yeah, into one of my personal favorites in terms of places to ride near me, and I think just in the east side too. But it is busy here on this connection. But so, all right. All right. So you take this bike lane for a while and then make a left onto May Valley Road. I'll say for sure the conditions you're gonna run into is highly dependent on when you ride in terms of traffic. It can go from super pleasant to very busy. I think today is gonna sit in that middle to busy compartment because it's a Friday afternoon, decently late. So we'll see how this goes though. But finding quiet times, May Valley definitely is a treat. But yeah, it looks like after that big spot of traffic, I'm pretty clear. So I'm gonna go take the lane now and run into the light and then make the left at the next one. Oh yeah, it's also school bus time. So that school bus might be making stops ahead of us later. We'll see. Nope, not that one. All right, so the next light is May Valley Road. And it's about a, I think it's like a, I want to say just about like 8-mile corridor where there's only one traffic light and just great countryside type of riding. One lane, sort of just like this. But there's some really good views of farmland. And yeah, it's just a continuous pedal, just sort of like Mercer Island type of vibes. But same thing is that you got to get passed by in traffic. So I'd say if you come here, definitely feel comfortable riding with cars. And also, one of the radars would be very helpful, like a Varia radar of some sort. But usually it comes in waves. But it's been a hot second since I've ridden my bike, or just any bike outdoors, so I'm pretty glad. I've been in the world of Zwift and Watopia. I've been busy with work, so it's good to be back. And then, yeah. But I'd say this route is often combined a lot with just other things like the Cougar Mountain area, because this also leads up to a lot of different climbs after you get into Issaquah. Or you can head south towards like Black Diamond or Tiger Mountain, or Black Diamond or Tiger Mountain. So this route is really good to know. And the last thing I'll say really quick is that if you go eastbound, it's nicer because it's slightly more downhill than it is uphill. So, but we can maintain a pretty good pace here, about 20 miles per hour, and just keep pedaling along. But yeah, at any point, you sort of diverge or turn out to the right and head into Renton. But we're gonna take this all the way through and then end up on some Issaquah trails for sort of our finale. We're gonna be doing a climb I've never done before. It looked pretty steep, so we'll see how I do. But this part's just the warm-up. Yeah, I'd say when riding in roads like these, definitely make sure to leave yourself some buffer. You don't want to go all the way to the right away. You want to, if you have a radar, you can make sure you're seen by taking a little bit more of the road. And then as cars pass you, you have that little extra bit of room in case you need it, is the way I like to think about things. But yeah, this radar is super helpful. Just an extra set of eyes, just in case. But I've never ran into too much issue here. But yeah, they also features a really nice red barn, just sort of like the one on top of the Centennial Trail. I think this was just private, so I wouldn't go up and take pictures with it. But it is nice to see a red barn here on the side. It's really nice. Same type of aesthetic. And then you can see a lot of the lower lands here. It's really nice. And the best part was, like, this ride so far is essentially starting from very close to where I live. So it takes me less than about 15 minutes to get transported here to sort of a more rural type of riding setting. So that's really nice, just so you can get really into the flow, just pedal on. I guess that's, but you do run into cars, I guess, so it's a give or take. But Yeah, very different than riding around in Seattle. But I would say for that car, he gave me a decent amount of room. It's just his engine's loud. Couple more cars. And then yeah, the thing with this bike, it's also my first bike where I wax the chain, and I've been really digging it. I think I'm gonna stick with wax chains from now on for my sort of road or gravel bikes. It's a lot of fun. It's just really quiet. And I think the best part is that when you wax it, you can't wax too much, so you're sort of reassured a lot. I think with lubricants, there's like a weird balancing point you need to take account of. Whereas wax is sort of just more regular maintenance you can do all the time. All right, we're approaching one of the first main turns in this corridor. And yeah, definitely just look out for traffic. But I'd say, yeah, I just can't say how important the Varia is for a route like this. A route where it's not always bombarded with cars, but you will need to be passed by them and so on occasionally is the ideal situation for the radar. Because if you use the radar in the city, it's sort of way too noisy and it's just going off all the time. And if you use it where there's, yeah, so we're turning left here to keep going on May Valley Road. Recreational corridors, like that sign says. It's also like a interesting like petting zoo, and they sell some neat things here. Or Sammamish animal sanctuary is what the sign says. But yeah, during the summer, I see so many kids playing here with the different animals. There was a school bus I was alluding to earlier in the video, but we'll see if we run into any later on our route. We're gonna keep going eastward for now. But yeah. Yeah, and the wintertime really can be a nice time to ride. It's just the daylight is very rough. So like this January, I remember it was super duper dry around here. So I think that was like one of my most high mileage months of the whole year. And this was the road I used to do it. Just making loops of this. So today it's dry, but it's not gonna be dry for long. So taking advantage, even though I'm probably gonna have to ride in the dark to get home. But you sort of make do with what you have. But I just forgot to point out, back over there was a nice climb you could do too. It's called the Southside Cougar Mountain, going up to Licorice Way. That's a good climb. And then up ahead, I'll probably make the video on it, but there's a climb called the Eliminator, and it's steep. It's probably the steepest road climb you'll find around here, because it just holds like 20% plus for a really long time. So that one is by far the hardest climb I've done that's fully paved. So you can always check that out too. Yeah. Probably not gonna be many people here though. When I'm riding here in the summers, I often run into a group of riders or two as I'm going around, but today seems unlikely. And then we're running into the one and only traffic light here, though it's a bit of a annoying one if you don't have sufficient metal to trigger the signal. So I'm trying to catch up a little bit to that car. Cars are very useful for this. Yes, he's still there. So I can use it to get the light, because otherwise you usually have to hit the signals or walk across. There's these sort of self-made markings you'll see on the ground, and they indicate where a bike should go. There's like a giant bike word on the ground. But yeah, we have a car here, so we're good. But yeah, sometimes I could get stuck here. It's just me and a carbon bike. And yeah, that brings up a lot of this May Valley Road. I think we're about halfway through-ish, if not a little bit more. And then we will end up on Issaquah Hobart Road later. But this is the Renton Issaquah Road. It's sort of a big highway. You can ride it, but the shoulder is sort of suspect at times. So I wouldn't want to unless I really had to, but it is doable. So I'm just gonna keep going here. Yeah, I definitely have a heads up here about cars, because you really don't know what they're gonna do, including this guy. I'm not really sure what's happening. And then with the popularity of EVs around here, they get really quiet and they can actually sneak up on you quite easily. So the radar also helps there. So, but we go onwards and forwards from here. So I'm going to load in this route, because there's actually some parts of the gravel I've never done before. So it'd be good to confirm later on that I know where I'm going. But we're not there yet. And now we keep going straight. But yeah, this bike has been one of my favorites, honestly, just overall, because one of the main things about it is the gearing. So I got a 13 speed here, and I've never used the top gears of any of my road bikes, because I just simply don't pedal when I'm traveling faster than 35 miles per hour, and I don't sprint or race. So this bike basically gives me that same top speed I'm basically pedaling at, but I get a bunch of extra gears at the bottom, and yeah, I can use them. I love to spin up steep hills, so I think that's probably been one of the best parts, as well as I put some 40 millimeters on here with the fenders, and they have performed really well. Like, it's obviously a bit slower, but it's really not that much slower. So you're sort of just trading off some weight and maybe flat speed uphill for a lot of versatility. So that's been the best part about it. But yeah. And then the good thing here as well is that the roads have a bit of a rumble strip in the middle. So you also get another cue that a car is passing you and probably passing you safely when you hear that rumble strip, because there's no real way for them to pass you otherwise. But still, yeah, this is not a road if you're very nervous around cars. And yeah, this is, I think I have like this app that can tell me how much traffic my Garmin Vario picks up in a ride. I think at its worst, it is about like 60 to 70 cars in this one stretch. So it can get up pretty crazy, passing you. But we're getting there. We're almost there. This is called the H Valley Loop. There's another good climbing if you go up here. So you could do like a loop around May Valley and Newport Way, and then just climb all the hills along the way. They just go into Cougar or Squawk, and then back out, or Hilltop. There's just so many options. So living here is definitely, I think, just by coincidence of where I lived, is what made me into a very passionate daily rider, and probably where I get any of my fitness from, the fact that there's climbs around to do. But here we're at the High Valley Saddle Club, that big sign over there. We'll keep going straight. There is a raccoon on the ground there, unfortunately, that is not doing so well. And I'm gonna wait, chill here for our turn. Yes, our turn to go. But yeah, this route also leads, as I mentioned before, directly into Tiger Mountain and some other routes. So, or Ravensdale. There's just so many areas you can connect to from here. So it's still highly worth it. Yeah, you won't tend to get much of the big trucks except like on weekdays. If you come on weekday rush hours, the chances of those really, really big trucks are here. But otherwise, the traffic you're seeing is sort of standard for what you get around here. Well, there's a box truck just as I said that, but I'm talking about like the really, really big, like 16-wheelers or whatever. You see those in like Sammamish and Maltby, but not really here. So we're getting through, and then my goal today is to get through that gravel section, the climb, before it starts getting dark, because I don't really want to do the climb in the dark in the woods. But once we get back into Issaquah, I'll feel pretty good. And I'm wearing like a light vest right now, as well as I got lights and everything, so I'll be able to make it back. But yeah, that's the main goal. And we're about 8 miles in right now. So let's see if we can make it. This might be tight. Sunset is at about, it's about 4:30. I think I'm fine. But all depends on how long that climb takes me. And then here, there's some rumble strips. So keep going. And then on our left is also the Squawk Park entrance. There's a really nice gravel trail that's super duper steep. That one's also a ridiculously hard climb. Probably, but yeah, that one's gravel. And it leads you to like a microwave. So I did that once. Probably would not do that on the regular because I'm too scared to come back downhill from it. But it's a good climb. And then we're approaching our actual downhill coming up. So that'll be very welcome. Here it is. This is a nice little quick descent. Not super steep, maybe -5 or 6. Going down. But yeah, watch out for the trash cans that are often here. As well as I think they sell Christmas trees around here. So you often get that type of traffic too. That is a neat spot to visit. Yeah. I really enjoyed these NV bars just because of the flare. 37 on top and 42 on the bottom. It's been nice for gravel to get a very secure hold. And just keep going down. All right. So, once you get down here, rumble strips again. So this is where you can start entering into some gravel already, into the Tiger Mountain gravel, like through the nudist camp. And those ones are pretty good, pretty steep at parts. And then even go up to Puget Point, which we're gonna pass by on the road. So, but then the other thing to know is that if you cut through here on the right, there's actually like this little path and cut through so that you don't have to go and wait on the big road up ahead, Issaquah Hobart, and then cross the narrow bridge. You can just go into that intersection we were just at and then head southward from there. That's a good way to do it if you're going to ride like down to the Cedar River Trail or something like that. So now there's a car behind me. I'm gonna signal that I'm making a left here. So, all right. So that was May Valley Road. And then now we're in a different part of the ride, going sort of down a pretty quick Issaquah Hobart into the Front Street area where we'll pick up on some gravel trails that I've not ridden before. So this will be my first time. So we'll see how that goes. But so far so good. Okay, let's go. The thing to know about this road is that usual traffic patterns is that it's way busier going southbound than northbound. and there's also less shoulder going southbound. So whenever you can, you'll see it. I would advise riding northbound for a more pleasant experience, but either is doable. And it's just a straight shot to Issaquah from here. And then the gravel road I was talking about, I think it's right here. Right? If you turn right here and go start going climbing up. But we are headed straight. And then up ahead, today you definitely probably won't see any paragliders, but on a normal day, as we pass the Puget Point parking lot, you'll see paragliders up there from here for sure. Straight. Yeah, I feel like people watching this video will either be like, this is so many cars, or that's not so bad. I think I might have just gotten, frankly, just used to it, but the idea that you can just pedal straight for 12, 15 miles is it's pretty appealing. So we'll see. This school bus is getting right ahead of me. Is it gonna stop? Nope. Oh, another school bus. Yeah, also the time I picked is probably not the best one, but you'll notice there really is not much traffic behind me. Is it those few? And then here on the right, this is the Puget Point parking lot. So this is a spot I often stop at if I need to use the restroom or feel I need to eat something and watch the paragliders. It's a mile marker 11 for me, so yeah, it's a nice little place. But for today, we're going on. Probably no stopping for me to maximize sunlight, which I only have about 40 minutes left. So I really want to just clear the climb and then go from there. But we're really close. What the? There's chickens. I've never seen chickens out there before. I hope you guys saw that on camera. That was the first time I've seen chickens just hanging out. Not fenced in or anything. That was very interesting. Very not expected. Okay. About another mile on this road, and that'll take us right onto the trail. But not gonna lie, one of my scariest parts about riding gravel is wildlife. I don't know what to do. Honestly, I don't have bear spray on me, so this camera will have to be my bravery, and I'll have to just get away or something. I don't know. It'll be fine. But yeah, we just keep going downhill here. We're almost there. There's a nice little detour here on the right if you want a more calm riding experience that just hits into a couple of residential areas. It's not really long. Or no, we already passed there, I think, not this one. But before, there was a nice little detour. But now we're just going straight. All right. Christmas ads. Christmas is here. Just about at this next light. Watching out for this car here. I don't think he sees. Oh, he raised his hand, so maybe he acknowledged that he was blocking my path. We're approaching the right turn, and then also, just for you to know, this is also where the Jacob Two Trees lives. One of the Danbo trolls. He's just on the other side of the trail that we're about to go on. So this is the Rainier Trail here in Issaquah. So yeah, that's definitely the other thing with Eastside rides. You tend to traverse through different cities very easily. Seattle's quite big, so it doesn't happen as quickly. But yeah, finally we're getting some respite from traffic. And then yeah, left here, we go to the troll, but we are heading towards this trail that I need to find. So it looks like that's definitely not it. The GPS says like right here, but I wonder if I'm mistaken somehow. Maybe I'm not, because it looks like there's a parking lot-ish type of thing here. Oh, there it is. Yep, so this is what happens when you ride a new route. Everyone makes a similar mistake. All right, well, it's back to gravel. Let's see how this goes. And this is gonna be a lot different than earlier. And my way of riding gets a lot less confident. But I'm just here to have a good time, so let's chill. I'm gonna ride through here. Let's see where we end up. Coming through. No, this is nice, and I love how you can just easily escape into the forest here. As you can see, it's just so different from what we were doing earlier. There's just so much noise and so much things. But now it's like pretty much whisper quiet as we're just rolling through the woods. And my main thing here is just keeping a nice cadence, picking some fun lines, and just going on. But this is the type of terrain I like. Double track without roots or big obstacles. Because as much as fun as that is, I'm not so much about underbiking. Oh, I missed it. That's where I want to go. We want to go into that trail right here, going upwards. Okay, see, your usually reliable guide is not as reliable anymore. Let's see, it says here, 100 feet, turn right. So that's probably up here. So we're gonna explore this all together. First, little inclines here. I'm not even clipped in. All right, let's see how we do. And I'm just gonna go into my lowest gear and just make sure I get good traction going up this hill, because now it gets a little bumpy. Yeah, there's some decently more sized rocks, so my confidence goes way down. But since we're doing this together, I'm just gonna keep pedaling and just keep going up. Yep, more rocks. very bumpy. Oh, there we go. But nothing I can't handle just yet. We'll see up ahead though. I feel like that might change, but this part's very reasonable. I also really don't like mud because mud is super slippery. So, this is nice though, right here. Just a continuous gravel climb. And we are in the thick of it. Oh, losing a bit of traction on the rear. That's okay though. We're going uphill. And I'm just gonna keep on pedaling. Oh, big rock. Oh, hit it, big rock, okay. Need to start again. Yeah. Sometimes when it loses grip, I get too nervous. But, oops, I can just keep going. I just keep going. Just keep pedaling. Just keep pedaling, there you go. And we made it. Nice. But as I said, we're sort of racing the clock on the sun because I really don't want to be in here when it's actually dark. So my goal is to get out of here ASAP, even if I have to start running. But this part's fine. This is pretty nice actually. So I probably should let out air in the rear. I don't know if it's too much, given that I'm sort of slipping a little bit. But for now, we'll keep going. And I picked a very low gear so that I can keep talking while I'm pedaling. More rocks here again. Rocky, rocky, rocky. There we go. Nice. Okay, this is where it's a lot looser. Might be a little bit harder to keep grip. But luckily, my climbing style is very much seated, so it's a little bit less of an issue. But yeah, this part is much looser than back over there. And a root there, rock there. There we go. And we cleared that part. Okay, keep going. And it looks like I just keep going straight. Yep. No, this is a very good climb. It's probably holding in the lower 10s, but we're getting through it. I would definitely come here again. This has been really fun. Let's see here, let's get through this part. Yeah, some of these bigger rocks are annoying. I don't know what they're called. Are these baby heads? I don't know. I don't really know the terminology all the best, but this is fine. And it got hard packed again, so nice. It looks like we're approaching quickly the other end. So yeah, this ended up being a really, really fun sort of detour. Not detour, but path. I think this is the high school trail. Sign that says keep wildlife wild. I agree. Yeah, because the more you watch the channel, you'll realize that I'm a total city person. I like the Brompton. I'm not so much a bike packing type of person or camping, but for climbs, I'll do anything. So we're here now, doing this. And gotta say, this is pretty fun. Okay, nice. I don't know if I can go downhill on that part. I definitely wouldn't like it. But uphill, it's my speed. All right, let's try this part. Some things here. And I think We're gonna get soon out to the other side. Okay, my map here. Oh, nice. There we go. Yeah, this is a really nice route. Wow, it's always fun when I discover new places that I like. This is pretty much a best side cycling special. Nothing technical and hilly. So and I see we're pretty much out of the trees real soon. Nice. Interesting. And afterwards, this I think is like some road-ish type of sections to totally get back over to the Issaquah Preston Trail, and then that's where I think we go from there. So big rock, thing on your left. Okay. Nice. There's some interesting staircase over there. But we're going straight. And where does this bring us? Oh, coming through. It brings us to a more open gravel path. Okay. Nice. So now we're out here. And it's funny because I'm not really outpacing those runners by much because I'm a pretty nervous rider. So I'm here just to try out things, make sure I'm good, make sure I feel confident. You'll never really see me aggressively hit features or things like that. So, but this is still really up my alley, so I'm liking this so far. There's like just this sweet spot of technicality that you just feel very comfortable in with the right equipment. And it's like a really nice balance. But yeah, definitely looser here and some little bit of rutted areas, but definitely nothing bad. And you can tell there's just so many people around here now, so it feels really chill. Rocky, rocky, rocky. Coming through. Oh, this is nice though. It's open now, open space. There's something about being like enclosed next to a cliff that makes you super nervous no matter what kind of terrain you're riding. So when you get a wide open space like this, you get to choose your lines. It's a lot less daunting for a beginner like me. But yeah, this is following a bit of my off-road adventures, which I guess technically sort of started from when I did Stinky Spoke earlier this year. So now we're getting close. This is getting a lot bumpier. But pretty much after this, it's smooth on the Preston Trail again. So, but this is okay. It's like a weird function of how steep or technical it is. If it's super flat but technical, you still can survive, but if it's steep and technical, you're sort of, that's when things fall apart for me, and I don't really have the confidence to go and try it. But yeah, this is just bumpy now. All right. Let me see if we can find a less bumpy of a line, but we're getting there. Almost there. Yeah, I would say it's a very small rider, about like 52 kilograms, 115 pounds. I get bumped around very easily by the roads. All right, here. It looks like that might be it. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, okay. Okay, let's go. All right, let's see if I can pedal out this out. No, it's very rocky. Oh yeah. Okay, I think I could have made it. I just got nervous. So I'm definitely not too prideful to show that I'm walking. I just got scared of all the big rocks. I didn't want to get bumped off. The gradient was fine. We're very close to the end of this. Yeah, like those rocks are bigger than I usually ride with. Interesting. All right, but that's like about the end there. So, all right, we can get back on and finish this out. It was funny. I saw those big rocks, and mentally right now I'm not the bravest for whatever reason. Sometimes I'm braver than other times. Right now I'm okay. So here, looks like I can just roll through this and then get to the end. Nice. All right, here we are onto this service road now, I think. And my goal is still to get back before it gets dark, so to the city road, to the road riding. So I think I'm gonna meet that. Not gonna spend much time dilly-dallying here, but this is nice. It's basically just a big dirt road now. But yeah, if you feel like you're a beginner, nervous about off-road, you can just look at me. I assure you I'm much worse. So as someone that didn't grow up riding bikes, someone that's, really big holes, really risk averse. So yeah, this area is real nice too. Sort of want to take a quick photo of this too. I said I need to get out of here, but just look at this. It's got like a lake-ish type of area. I'll show here. Nice. All right. But that being said, we are getting very, very close to the end of the new sections. This is all new to me, and that's the part you get nervous about because you've never seen it. I'm just alone here. Who knows where? No, I'm just kidding. But like, it's not that far from civilization, but it's just new. But once I get into Issaquah, then I'll know where everything is. But yeah, this is also the primo type of gravel riding I like. That's a giant gravel road. You can feel, to some this might feel like road riding, but this is adequate for me. You get the, like compared to what we were just doing earlier with all the traffic, and then now you go to this, it's just so different. Just completely different type of riding. Okay, it looks like a bit of a downhill here. I'll just let it roll. Let the bike, let the tires do its thing. And keep going. There you go. But yeah, the also interesting part about gravel to me is just like how many different surfaces there are. So someone that might be like a bit of a data nerd, or like, I don't know, just interested in like exploring and trying different things. There's like so many different configurations that they all ride a little different, and then you get a sense of what they're like. But this just turned completely into a dirt path right before the parking lot. So, and I'm glad we're getting this part of the way first, because once it gets dark, seeing some of these holes might be harder to do. But for now, We are almost in the clear. Alright. But yeah, that was a surprising amount of people walking and things. So, oh, it looks like we go up here. And then we can go. There's a parking lot. I think. Oh, sorry. And then we can go here. It looks like there's a gravel option to continue on, but I think for us today, we are going to just go straight because I don't have time anymore. So yeah, now we're gonna connect over to the Issaquah Preston Trail. This is a really nice road again, and you know that moment that after you finish a gravel portion, you go on the pavement and it's like buttery smooth. This is what it's like right now. So this is awesome. And below us is traffic. We can hear the I-90 traffic. It's loud. It's very loud. So, but with that, we are gonna clear this soon. But yeah, I think overall I give that really high marks for something I've never done. It usually takes me a try or two to warm up to it, but that one I actually just liked off the bat. I probably need to get used to those bigger rocks on that final climb. I'm a bit nervous because I've used fenders on this bike and I don't want to take apart the fenders, but not too bad, not too bad. Looks like here is some more parking for people to go onto these trails. So we just rode through that, and then we're gonna connect over onto the Issaquah Preston Trail, and then once we get to Issaquah, I think that's where I'm gonna end this video, because frankly, it's gonna get too dark and I won't be able to show you the route properly. So yeah, but yeah, well, let's get to that first, because I still haven't run into this part before. So let's see what's next. But 10 out of 10, we'll do that part again. And I mean, this is all just a means to fit a super quick ride. We're about 15 miles in, about 1 hour total riding time. I definitely took it really easy, climbing wise, just to hang out with you guys, but also to just get a better sense of what it's actually like. But yeah, a little bit of a hill here to the on-ramp or bridge over the highway. Or not bridge, is it underpass? We'll see. I guess. Oh, it is indeed an underpass. All right, across I-90. All right. Nice. Crossing the I-90. And then it looks like this is where the trail starts again. So here I am at the Issaquah Preston Trail. There we go. So yeah, let's ride on this for a while till we get to Issaquah. And I'm not the best tour guide again, because I've only ridden this like once. But yeah, this is a super hard-packed trail compared to everything we've been riding so far. And it's slightly downhill, westbound. So that works greatly in our favor now, as I get to enjoy the descent after climbing up all of that earlier. So, but yeah, this is also a pretty sweet ride. And then this is a way you can do like a super big loop if you're going the other direction, and you can combine it with like the snow climbing valley trail and things like that. But yeah, this also feels great compared to those big, that rocky section with those big rocks. Or to me, big rocks. To most, maybe just reasonable, but yeah, this is nice. Just a nice cruise down. So. And then this trail I've used a lot too, to ride towards like the Issaquah Highlands, which is road climb. But yeah, this is what I mean. Like when the gravel bike, now I can finally try out some new things and try out these gravel-ish roads. And yeah, this ride basically had everything I liked. And then the section you won't get to see is me riding towards home and climbing my hill of choice, and which could be Zoo Hill, Cougar Mountain Hill, but depending on what time I get there, I'll pick the appropriate one. So yeah. And just finding this section here. Yeah, this is so nice to ride. It's whispery smooth. I haven't had to turn on my light yet, front light, but I will soon. Yeah, I think we'll make my goal of finishing all these parts in time. So I'm glad. No mechanicals, no super big failure on my part on riding this section. So yeah, this is nice. This is a nice ride. You still get the freeway noises here though. So I think this is a good video as well for those that want to get an idea of sort of traffic versus trafficless riding. And we can keep just rolling down. Bit of hard packed. And then I'll show you how this ends up connecting with the East Lake Sammamish Trail, because it actually connects pretty much right up directly. So that's also a really cool part of this trail. So we'll just go out to there, and that's where I'll call it for this video. But yeah, this has just been a nice, pleasant ride down this thing. You could definitely do this on like this part on any sort of bike. But on a gravel bike, it's even better. As I mentioned, I really don't mind the idea of being at the right level of bike or over biking. Because for me, I just want to see new things and enjoy it. So this is letting me do just that. Okay. All right. Man, this trail goes downhill for so long. I think this whole path, like, it just continues at a slightly upwards grade, like 2 to 3%. So now going in the other way, this feels so nice. It's just like having like an eco mode of e-bike. You're just going along. Your views is just of the I-90 trail though, or no, I-90 highway to the left, but it's here. All right, I think the gravel section is going to be ending soon. Just a couple more turns. And it was quite nice while it lasted. I'm surprised there's no people here. We saw people on that really random trail network before, but not much here, I guess. As we just continue down. Racing the sunset. Let's see. There is some trail lighting up there, which is nice. So here, you either go straight onto Sunset Boulevard, or I think you go through underneath, and then that brings you towards the west side more. So we'll see where we end up here. And then now we're back on some pavement. Yeah, you go straight, takes you to Sunset Boulevard. Here we're gonna go through this underpass thing, so I can show you how this connects to East Lake Sammamish Trail and like to Costco and stuff like that. So yeah, so now we're basically, yeah, this is the paved trail that can take you to Issaquah Highlands. This is a paved trail, it's really nice. A little bumpy somewheres, but not too bad. And we can just go straight down through. Vehicle on trail. Huh. And I guess you can share the lighting with the highway a little bit. So, but it's not dark yet. It's gonna get dark very soon though. It's like on the, what time is it? It's 4:26, sun is setting right now. So it's, it's about to get dark. Then I have about like a 8-mile ride home, 10-mile ride home. Alright. Yeah, there's also a good descent, but just look out for people, and also not here, but up ahead it gets like very bumpy with roots and stuff like that. But it's a nice one. Here we go. Yeah, all pretty super fast parts of the ride. Just sort of flies by as you go along here. And then big bump there, some more bumps here. And then we have to cross this big intersection. And that's basically it. So, hope you've enjoyed this video. It's only been an hour and 10 minutes of riding time, but the amount of change in lighting is pretty intense. So, we're approaching the end here of where I wanted to show you today. All right, coming through. This is something I always do. Whenever I enter blind corners on trails, I sort of just give a signal I'm there. Yeah, this is all been downhill, coming through. But I think obviously the main thing you need to do is just slow down. Make sure you don't go too fast. I need these sections where you can't see on the other side. Because even if you're riding on the right end and everything, you never know what might be awaiting you. But yeah, this is the big section, which is very annoying. To pass, we're gonna have to wait here for a car to let us go. There we go. And then we have to hit the button to try to get across. Okay, light. Nice. Crossing. All right. And then we gotta let these people yield because there's just so much traffic here. There we go. And we're on the other side. Hello. And yeah, I knew that was gonna be a long wait, giving a signal, but safety first. Anyway, this is now that final stretch, and then we're gonna connect on to the East Lake Sammamish Trail right here. So Right about here. Do, 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 do. Nice. Boom. And here we are. So, right here at the trail marker of the Issaquah Preston Trail. All right, so we made it here to the East Lake Sammamish Trail. Basically, you can just go down here, go all the way north, hit Redmond, keep going, go on the Sammamish River Trail, and then hit the Burke Gilman, and you're then in Seattle. So yeah, really neat how this all connects up. I got a ride back home. It's a lot darker than it looks like on the GoPro. So I put on my light vest and everything. I'm good to go. But yeah, that was my video. Hope you enjoyed that ride. Let me know if you want to see more like that. I had a good time showing you all around. So that's it. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.